In session 1, we had a look at the complete flow chart up to the level of the design and development of the prototype, as well as the JPMT and the PMT as to how it monitors the product. Keep in mind, it is important for the development cum production partner to be a part of the design and development phase if we has to easily absorb the technology and get on to the production. We found many cases failing because of this factor. In session 2, let's have a look at the realization of prototype, the trials as to how they carried out, and the award of contract. The trial directive is the next stage in the complete flow chart. It cannot be considered as a totally different stage because concurrently the trial directive is developed and it is issued by the SHQ in consultation with the JPMT and the PMT, and issue is only after the CDR, that is the critical design review, and the designing has been carried out. It is also formulated in consultation with the design agency concerned, and it is always in consonance with the trial methodology, which was included in the statement of case when the EON was taken. The trial directive focuses on evaluating of essential parameters, and trials basically are conducted based on it. Some members of the PMT, since they're familiar with the process and the product concerned, and in the design of the product, they're included into the trial team, and certificate of conformance wherever they are provided and recommended by the JPMT, these are considered, and trials may not be carried out in case the agencies have the certificate of conformance. We will look at it in a subsequent slide. The next stage is the realization of the prototype in consonance with the design that was given by the design agency. And the realization of prototype is done by the design cum production partner, which has been hand in hand with the design agency right through its process, oblique by the production agency concerned in case the design cum production partner was not there and the production agency has got incorporated now. This is in case it is by the DRDO. However, by the DPSUs of the OFP, in case there is no design cum production partner oblique PA engaged by them, they themselves can carry out the realization of the prototype, that is the making of the prototype. The design agency is still responsible for hand holding. It's not that it carries out the design and washes his hand off to the production agency oblique the design cum production partner. It is in close consultation with the PMT, which is an interface with the SHQ, and carries out in-house internal testing and evaluation of the prototype to validate the performance of the subsystems, the subassemblies. And all these are against the PSQR parameters. So sort of internal trials are conducted on the prototype stage. There will be a number of stages through which the prototype would go through. And all these agencies, including the design cum production partner and PA, in close consultation with the DA, with the PMT, the JPMT being reported to, go through the complete phase of prototype development. Now also, we looked at the certificate of conformance. Now, if some parameters are evaluated during this process of development of the prototype as per the quality testing and the acceptance testing criteria, or through accredited test labs or physical trials which are aligned with the trial directive, that is as per the PSQR, have been cleared by them, SHQ can accept the certificate of conformance as submitted to them by the design agency, and this cuts down possibly on further trials. Now the trial and evaluation procedure is followed thereafter after the prototype has been realized or developed. Now, in order to cut down the level of trials that are there, in case the prototype, the technology has been absorbed, and the production agency oblique the design cum production partner has been able to produce the prototype as per the design, internal trials of the prototype are completed and they are completely successful, then we need not go through the multi-stage trials of the unit assisted trial team, that is during the realization of the prototype, followed by proper field evaluation trials. It can be done away with, but that is only if it is totally successful and SHQ accepts it. However, when the production agency is incorporated into the complete procedure post the development of the prototype, now the production agency may not be able to produce the equipment as per the prototype developed. Therefore, the PSQR validation trials are conducted on what the prototype was developed by the DA, the development agencies concerned. And at this stage, the PSQR is successful PSQRs are converted into SQRs on the DA realized prototype. Subsequently, when the production agency concerned, which was not part of the design phase and the development phase, comes into being of producing the product concerned, then the PA, that is the production agency produced prototype, can be validated only for critical parameters and to certify and to assess whether the absorption of technology of the DA produced prototype has been correct or not. Now, if PSQR validation trials are required to be carried out, then they are conducted by the development agency in consultation with the JPMT and the PMT as per the trial directive and the timelines. And this enables the conversion of the PSQR into the SQR. In case the PSQR trials are successful, there may not be requirement for any further trials to be carried out. However, in case the prototype does not achieve the PSQR completely, however, the SHQ feels that what it has achieved is acceptable to SHQ, it can go in for spiral development, that is, accept the first lot for limited series production and thereafter improve upon the product and then go in for subsequent production based on next phase of trials. Now these will have to be recommended by the BRMC oblique the apex body for approval to the UN according authority in case you're going in for spiral production. So a decision may well be taken during the UN stage to go in for spiral production, or it may be taken when the PSQR trials is coming on, that possibly it would not be possible to take the complete product in phase 1, in model 1 of the product itself. We may need to go to subsequent model with spiraling increase in the QR concerned. Now, in case the prototype does not meet the critical parameters as acceptable to the SHQ, then the JPMT informs the BRMC, the apex body, for either a continuation of further development, try and achieve it, or for foreclosure. And for this, for foreclosure, the UN according authority will have to be apprised and their approval will have to be taken. Based on the trials that have been carried out, a staff evaluation is carried out by SHQ, and this staff evaluation is accepted by the vice chief concerned of the equivalent of the service headquarters oblique the CISC of the headquarter IDS. Now, the staff evaluation may also recommend limited validation trials oblique what is known as the first of production model if required, that is, it has not been able to achieve the complete things. It's felt that at that point of time, that when it goes in for production, the small encumbrances that are there can be rectified by the production agency concerned, and therefore limited validation trials oblique first of production model trials can be carried on before going in for bulk production of the minimum order quantity or for that particular limited series production. Where the development cum production partner oblique the production agency was not involved in the design and development process, a highly undesirable situation. But suppose it happens, then the staff evaluation may recommend the field evaluation trials of the prototype manufactured by the DRDO nominated production agency. That means you have gone into a successive series of trials. One trial was on the designed prototype, developed prototype of the design agency, and now having transferred to the production agency, that trial would also be required, as I pointed on the previous slide, to ascertain whether the absorption of technology is complete or not. And this would be in critical parameters only. After the successful completion of the PSQR validation trials, the PSQRs are converted into SQRs. The PSQRs are provisional, they could be changed, they could be altered. However, thereafter they're converted to the SQR for the purposes of the production to go in. That is, it has to be as per the SQR, the production, and this is approved by the relevant Services Equipment Policy Committee within 8 to 10 weeks of the receipt of the trial report. After the issue of converting the PSQRs into SQRs, the commercial RFP is asked for. Now, during the complete development phases, there would be change in the equipment, there would be change in the QRs concerned. Therefore, there was no point in having a commercial quote at that point of time. So once the SQRs are frozen, then the commercial quote is asked for from the particular development cum production partner or the production agency concerned. Now, besides the commercial inputs that are required in the commercial RFP, the life cycle support would be asked for, the acceptance trial procedure, ATP, acceptance trial procedure, which is jointly by the development agency, the SHQ, the DGQA, and the development cum production partner, the PA concerned. Also, the certification of the indigenous content would also form part of this itself. The CNC would be as per the normal procedure. However, the rep of the DRDO would be included in the benchmarking committee. And the benchmarking commences on successful completion of the trials, and it is completed before the staff evaluation is complete. So when the staff evaluation is complete and it is in the last phase, you already have the benchmark available in a sealed envelope with the CNC. Wherever the OFP and the DPSUs are involved, there the costing committee comes up as recommended by the CMC, and this the Department of Defense Production may order for the purposes of pricing of the OFP and the DPSU product. And post approval of the CFA, the contract is given to the development cum production partner in case he was right there from the beginning, or the production agency concerned, and not to the design agency. Let us now have a closer look at the major monitoring teams as well as the review committees that we talked about. First is the JPMT, the apex body, the Joint Project Management Team. The composition of it, the chairman is either a brigadier oblique a major general, equivalent officer from the concerned service headquarters, and the co-chair of this is the project director, the deputy project director nodal lab, oblique in case of DPSUs, oblique the OFP, the general manager concerned. The members of this are the representative of the participating lab, oblique of the DPSUs, oblique the OSP. Also, the reps of the DISB for DRDO cases. DISB stands for the Directorate of Interaction with Services for Business. The reps of the DP and C of the DRDO, oblique the DDP, which is the Directorate of Planning and Coordination. The user reps, the rep of the CEMILAC if required, which is basically the Center for Military Airworthiness and Certification in the DRDO, which basically looks at military aircrafts. The rep of the Quality Assurance Agency, the sector experts that would be required from the R&D centers, the academia, other DRDO labs for specifics of the technology concerned. The representative of the maintenance agencies concerned, the rep of the DRDO, the DPSUs and the OFP is the member secretary of this committee. The role of this committee is to review the detailed schematic oblique the product tree with the current status, review the technical progress as per the milestones that have been laid down, discuss on unresolved technical issues they may crop up, also provide proposed solutions to the problems that are concerned, deliberate on key issues, including new issues that may be brought up for approval, recommend any enhancements of funds that are required, which have been found during the design phase oblique the developmental phase, the PDC extensions that were given in terms of the timelines, as also recommend foreclosure of the product if required. Preparation of the draft trial directive in conjunction with the JPMT, the SHQ does it, and facilitate the conduct of the trials with the SHQ. The project management team. The PMT can be considered as an interface between the JPMT, the development agencies, and the SHQ. Its composition is decided by the service headquarters based on the complexity of the project as well as the desired domain specialization. It is not necessary for every project to have a PMT. By and large, because the technologies are complex in such kind of a design and development case, PMTs are nominated. There is an option to augment any project related activity with additional members. Now each phase of it could have different type of members based on their core competence, and therefore these are these expert members who are part of the PMT. The role of it would be to participate in all testing trials along with the development agency and the development cum production partner, and functioning in close coordination with it, attending all project related meetings and discussions, including that of the JPMT. It assists in availability of the service resources in terms of ranges, platforms, earmarking of specific units, subunits of services, and coordinate activity between multiple agencies from the services. It addresses day-to-day functional requirement, provides operational inputs, and seeks directions from the SHQ on any complex issue that may arise. And it gives periodical updates to the JPMT and the SHQ. Basically, the PMT functions as a subset of the JPMT and is an important functionary basically to examine the design, keep the SHQ informed, and keep progress of the entire thing besides assisting in the complete development process. Now the composition and role of the biannual review and monitoring committee, which is basically of the DPSUs and the OFP, and the apex body of the DRDO. The composition of the BRMC, the secretary DP himself is the chairman, while the vice chief oblique the CIS co-chair. The members may be Secretary Defense Finance, DG Acquisition of the MOD, concerned Joint Secretary in the Department of Defense Production, the CMD of the DPSU is concerned, the chairman of the OFP, and the chairman of the JPMT is a part of the BRMC. The project oblique the program director from the DPSUs oblique the OFP are a part of the BRMC. The composition of the apex body of the DRDO is as per approved composition. It is not sacrosanct. The CCR&D, the boss of the DRDO, is the chairman, while the vice chief of the CISC, the Secretary Defense Finance, DG Acquisition, the QA rep are incorporated for the review and monitoring of the design and development projects. The role of both the BRMC and the apex body remains the same, which is basically to monitor major milestones and decide on remedial actions in case of slippages, approve new work centers allocation or tasks based on recommendations of the board, approve alternate approaches to meet the schedule, oblique overcome the technical challenges that may come up, approve, ratify changes in system specifications based on recommendations of the board in course correction to the complete system specification. Recommend way forward for issues that crop up during the execution of the project, or in case they find it is not feasible to go through with the project, recommend foreclosure to the UN according authority. We've had a look at the complete design and development issue by DRDO, DPSUs, and OAPs. Now, this is an important chapter which has been exercised in a large number of production, be it the ATAGs, be it the Dhanush gun, or the influence mines. It leads to technology coming into the industry. An important aspect of this is the development cum production partners. Erstwhile, the production agency used to come in at the later stage after the prototype used to be developed. The absorption of technology used to be extremely difficult, and therefore when it used to go into productionization, you used to find that the product was not the same as that of the prototype. It will lead to a spiraling kind of a trials, endless trials to try and ascertain whether we can be able to procure this particular equipment or not. Now with the development come production partner being part of the design phase right from the inception stage, absorption of technology and to shift from a prototype to a production model becomes far more easier for that particular production agency. So while the design come production partner is mandatory in terms of the DRDO, which actually does not have production capability, for OFPs and DPSUs, which they have their own production capability, they could do in-house production also. But should they do it with a production agency, it is far more better to have it right from the inception stage, that is the design phase itself. Absorption of technology is difficult and only possible in case the production agency has been part of it and is able to produce almost the same kind of a thing that was produced during the prototype. In the next session, we'll have a look at leasing. Leasing is an important issue in which the cost factor for the procurement is offset over a long period of time. This can be used in expensive or a high volume production in a high volume products that are there. Now, a very important aspect of it that leasing has been introduced into DAP 2020 for the first time. It was very usefully utilized by the Naval Headquarters for leasing the MQ-9, the first lot of the MQ-9, 3 of them if I'm correct, from USA as their inherent entity while the talks were going on for additional of 30 MQ-9s for them for normal procurement. So the leasing not only offsets the entire cost of procurement, you can also be able to try out the equipment before going in for greater amount of procurement. We shall have a look at that in the next chapter in the next session. Thank you so very much. It's been great being with you. Till next time.